Greetings, everyone! Welcome to the History Hub, a show that will offer the boundless of learning of history. So for today's episode, I would like to introduce to you our following speaker and guest. So we have Miss Marilyn Torres, Miss Antonita Sistoso, Mr. Vernon Philip Simbahon, and Mr. Kane Kaiser Tibon. So they will impart their knowledge to us in regards to our topic for today about Renaissance era, specifically the age of exploration. I will bring to you the great throwback journey of our history. So just please take a seat, relax, and enjoy the ride, as yours truly will bring you there. So, to start with, Renaissance era is an era other known as a rebirth, which lasted from the 14th to 17th century, that promoted the rediscovery of classical philosophy, literature, and art following of the Middle Ages. For now, let us focus on one of the most significant events occurred in the Renaissance era way back 1476 to 1500. It is called the Age of Exploration. So, now, I would like to ask Miss Marilyn Torres, can you give me the two relevant events that happened during the Age of Exploration? Same as the other guests, right after the first one, the next one will have to follow.
Good day, everyone. So the Age of Exploration is also known as the Age of Discovery, began in 1400s and lasted on 1600s. It was a time when the European nations began to explore the world. As for the record on January 1, 1400, Prince Henry's sponsored Portuguese explorers. So during the period, Prince Henry led the way in sponsoring Portuguese exploration. His first navigators discovered and claimed the Madeira and Azores Islands to the west and southwest of Portugal, respectively. By 1415, Portugal had expanded into Muslim North Africa, seizing the port of Ceuta. The most significant event of Prince Henry's sponsorship, which ignites the countries may not been for Prince Henry's sponsorship. Okay. Following dated on October 12, 1492, wherein Christopher Columbus discovered the Caribbean islands. Sige. Intended to sail in west across the Atlantic Ocean to the East Indies. He, on the other hand, grossly underestimated the size of the earth. Spain and the East Indies were separated by the two previously unknown continents. On October 12, he unintentionally discovered the Caribbean islands and thought he had arrived in the East Indies. This is the second most important event because the land of the New World would not be claimed if Columbus had not accidentally discovered it.
Serve as continuation to what Mr. and Ms. have shared. It was dated on January 1, 1493. It is what we call Columbian Exchange. Columbus arrived in 1493 bringing nearly 1,200 settlers as well as variety of European animals and plants. Europeans discovered the new foods and brought them back to the Old World. In addition, all Europeans' plants were brought to the New World. The Columbian Exchange was considered as the most important event because it provided Europeans with food, such as potatoes, and it helps Native Americans hunt better. Because horses were introduced to the New World, interesting fact, the Columbian Exchange helped in shaping the world we live in today. Next is on July 8, 1497, Vasco da Gama reaches in India with 4 ships. He sailed to the India around the Cape of Good Hope, which has previously been discovered by Bartolomeo Diaz. He arrived in Cocteau, the Great Spaceport. This was the less important of the 10th event because while it was highly profitable, it had no real impact on other than to help the Portuguese become even more powerful. That's all.
Now, allow me to share you the event that happened on January 1, 1500, called as the Spanish Settlers and Missioners. Spaniards established colonies wherever they went, claiming the land and its people for their king and church. This is one of the most significant events because, as other countries saw how vast the Spanish Empire was becoming, new competition arose resulting in wars and alliances for the new land. Next is on August 13, 1521, the Hernan Cortes conquers the Aztec. In 1519, Hernan Cortes embarked on an inland journey with 600 men, 16 horses, and a few cannons toward Tenochtitlan, the Aztec capital. Finally, in 1521, Cortes and his Indian allies captured and demolished Tenochtitlan. This event was also one of the most important because the Spanish Empire would not have expanded if the Aztec had not been conquered, thereby eliminating many historical events that occurred and possibly another country would not conquer the Aztec instead.
Now for my interesting event, this was date on January 1, 1550, called Commercial Revolution. The Commercial Revolution was the establishment of direct trade routes between Europe and Asia, Africa and Americas, which had far-reaching economic consequences for Europeans and all of their colonies. Because of the sudden increase in money supply, inflation accelerated. The fuel was the gold and silver flowing to Europe and Americas, and this was considered as one of the most important events because it had a significant impact on the quality of life and economic position of countries and their citizens. Next, on January 1, 1600s, triangular trade existed. The Atlantic triangular trade was a network of trade routes that connected Europe, Africa, and the Americas initially. Merchant ships brought European goods to Africa. The goods were the exchange for slaves who were then sold to the Americas. Slaves were traded in the Americas for raw materials, which were they shipped to Europe, completing the process. This was considered important before because it fueled the economy and allowed countries to receive goods and people that they required.
Great inputs, my dear guest. Now, we are filled with learnings during the age of exploration. I would now ask any one of the four to answer my question. How really relevant is the age of exploration?
I would like to answer your question. So the Renaissance era's age of exploration is one of the most important periods in the world geography history. During this brief period, a sizable portion of the unknown world was mapped. In addition, many advances in navigation and mapping were made which added future explorers and travelers.
Amazing sharing and answer indeed. Thank you so much, my dear guests, for spending your time with us for today's episode. We really do learn a lot for today. And for those who are watching with us, I hope you learned something today. See you in our next journey. I am your host for today, Rona A. Tracy, signing off.